On this week's weekly video fishing forecast, we have the latest from the big Suffolk Marine Bass Contest. I was out fishing earlier in the week at night and saw something that seemed to be out of this world. Fred has a surf report, and our correspondents check in from around the island, all here at the new Fisherman.com.
The fishing news is sponsored by these fine partners.
Last Sunday, Suffolk Marine Anglers held their 16th annual bass tournament, raising money for Hospice Care Network. First place bass was Matt Broderick with 2 slot bass weighing at 29.15 pounds combined weight, and bluefish went to Scott Roberts with a 13.05 pound gator. That's his son Sabas holding the winning fish in the photo. Now let's check in with News 12 meteorologist Rich Von Olin with the Weekend Outlook, who tells me there's a nice pick of schoolie bass in the southwest bays, and blue sharks have also arrived. Rich?
All right, thanks, Matt. Hey, anglers, let's check the weekend forecast and see what we got going on here. And again, this is just a general overview. You can always check your favorite apps, favorite websites, or any weather tools that you might have as we get closer to the weekend to get some local information. This is a general overview, so we'll check things out. All right, starting out with water temps, they came up. We had some warmer weather during the week. A lot of 60s starting to show up there on the offshore sites. And wave heights, let's talk about the weekend. East-southeast wind will be kind of predominant here throughout Saturday. So offshore lumpy, more of a roll. Inshore a general 2 to 4. It looks like the sound should be okay. On the east end, Block Island, that's east of Montauk, actually looks okay. A little protection over there. Sunday, midday afternoon, we get more of a southwest breeze with a front coming in. And that could cause waves to really chop up badly. So if you're going to do anything, I think, maybe Saturday and Saturday afternoon, the best time to do that. So you had northeast wind, a little east-southeast on Saturday. It's not going to be perfect, not ideal, but I think it's manageable. Now, Sunday, we're going to have the front coming in from the north and west. We start with the south-southwest, and then that really starts to crank in the afternoon. So Sunday, morning probably better. Here's the high tides for the North Shore, about midday, South Shore for mid-morning. Temperatures, a little cooler weekend. We got some 70s, unlike last weekend, and that'll be kind of the rule of thumb. Check the Guru quickly, see what we got going on. There's your Saturday. And, we see generally that light, 5 to 15 from the east, going southeast in the afternoon. A little bit of a roll. Sunday looks a little lumpier with a southwest, especially late in the day. That could chop things up. So, again, if I had to pick, I'd say Saturday, best ocean day. But overall, weekend fishable, party boats, anywhere you want to go. Looks okay. Be safe, enjoy, have a great weekend. Matt, back to you.
Remember, be sure to check out News 12 before you head out on the water. Now let's check in with Fisherman's senior editor, Fred Golofaro. Fred?
Hey, thanks, Matt. And bluefish continue to dominate the bays and inlets from Raritan Bay all the way out to Montauk. Really good spring run of blues this year, lasting a lot more fish and also lasting a lot longer than it has the past few seasons. Hopefully we see them in the fall. And you guys that you like your bass fishing, but I really think that blues help the bass fishing. They move the bait around, they make the bass more aggressive, push the bait inshore, and I think we're already seeing some of that in Montauk. We'll get to that in a minute. Right now to the west, Mike over at Bernie's, he's talking about tons of blues. The bulk of the action has been between Coney Island and Breezy Point. Most of the fish are 5 to 10 pounds, and a lot of the action has been on diamond jigs and tubes, brightly colored tubes. Some bass mixed in, but the best bass action has been at night on Joe Bagg Swaters and Yozuri and SP minnows. In the Fire Island area, it's alive with blues still. They can be anywhere from 2 to 3 pounds. I had some yesterday morning, 2 to 3 pounds up to the teens. Tuesday was very good. A lot of topwater action on the back of Demo and Moses. And not hearing a lot of bass from there. I didn't have any bass yesterday morning. Might have dropped the fish, but not sure. But plenty of action with bluefish. Rich's Inlet, same thing. Plenty of blues in the daytime. Diamond jigs and bucktails. At night, there's a decent pick of bass on swim shads and bucktails, and they're ranging up to 20 pounds. Basically, they had some decent fish in there on the weekend on fish to 20 pounds. Shinnecock Inlet, the plover issue. On Sunday morning, all the campers and fishermen were told to leave the beach because of a plover hatch. Really, this is really out of control. I mean, you're talking about tens of thousands of people across the island and even in other parts of the northeast coast. that are being deprived of recreation. There were campers there. This was their 1 week to vacation on the beach. They went through all the hassles of reserving the time on the beach, and then they get kicked off, and that's the end of their summer vacation. There's got to be some compromise. It's really out of control, and nobody seems to be doing anything about it. We do have a meeting this week with the state, but this is a much broader problem, and it's just not right to have so many people inconvenienced. We all want to protect the plovers, but there's got to be a better way to do it without compromising everyone's recreation. So you'll read more on that. I'll be editorializing on that. It's an issue that really burns my gut. Again, Shinnecock Inlet, plenty of bluefish. Good in the daytime, same thing. Some bass at night. Still bass and blues in the bays. That's from Bryce over at Whitewater. Ken over at Tight Lines in Sag Harbor, same thing. In the bays, Peconic and Gardeners Bay. Blues and bass at night. He knew a bass to 20 pounds on the weekend and early in the week at North Haven and Lazy Point, taking on swimming plugs and shads there. Montauk's been really good. A lot of bluefish in the daytime, all mixed sizes again, and it could be 3-pounder or 15-pounder. A lot of that is top water, a lot of poppers, pencil poppers, and some bluefish at night interfering with the bass action, but it's mostly bass in the dark. Good shot of bass to 20 pounds on the north and south sides last week, and right into the weekend and early this week. Mostly on super strike darters, and some also on swimming plugs on the calmer nights. And same thing up on the North Fork. A lot of fish in that teens and up to the upper 20s. That's both sides, on the sound side and on the bay side. And there's been some bigger fish mixed in. Andrea Caruana, he had a 35-pounder on the weekend. And again, this is all swimming plugs, bottle plugs, darters, and SP minnows. So things are looking up. A lot of fish around, and a lot of big fish in the rips at Montauk. So hopefully a couple of them work their way into the beach. Matt, back to you.
Strange sights in the night sky while surf fishing. Early this week, I was fishing the surf at night with a friend when we captured this strange grouping of lights slowly moving in the sky in a strange way. I spent a lot of time fishing after dark, and this is the first time I witnessed something of this nature. At first, I thought we were a little sleep deprived, but after reviewing the video, it confirmed we were not out of our minds. And to back it up, I ran into another caster that I knew who asked me if I saw the same strange grouping of lights. Let me know what you think, or if you had any interesting experiences while fishing at night. Bergen Bay Docks is holding their shark tournament June 26th, raising money for the Skip Foundation. For all the details, visit bergenbaydocks.com. Now let's check in with Paul McCain from River Bay Outfitters with the Fly Report.
Hello, Matt. Well, I decided a good friend of mine came into town from the West Coast, and we said, let's go fish one of the premier fisheries in the country. And that's right here in New York, and that's the Delaware system. We're up on the west branch of the Delaware. We got our personal watercrafts, our Stealth Pros. We took 2 days, beautiful weather, hot, until it started raining today. Great day. I mean, you earn these fish. They're not easy. These are the best educated fish there is in the country. And I had, right before the rain, I had a beautiful, nice 16-inch brown. Tony had 4 fish. It's not easy, but this really, when you catch a fish there, it is so rewarding. Now, as far as the saltwater scene on Long Island goes, Duck Dennis has been going out in his duck boat, that's why we call him Duck Dennis, and hitting the sod banks in the western part of the Nassau County, and every day he's been putting fish on into his boat. So, I mean, there is definitely fish around. Gordon called in to tell me about all the bluefish they've been catching down in Jones Beach area. There again, 3 fish, guys. Don't take any more than you need. We don't want to ruin this fishery. As far as out west, east, out in the east, They were doing, my guides have been calling in from Montauk and Orient Point area and telling how great the fishing has been out there. Everything is opening up. I can't wait. I'm going to be fishing some of the kettle ponds. I'm focusing on Long Island. I'm focusing in my area, and I consider the Delaware in my area. Terrific time. If you want more information, please give me a call at the shop. And until next week, tight lines, everybody.
Now let's check in with Captain Timothy O'Rourke from Montauk. Tim.
Thank you, Matt. Well, greetings from Montauk, everybody. As everybody knows, the weather was really good this week, so plenty of people got out and were able to do some fishing. The fluke bite is picking up out here. Reports from the Viking fleet, they had a pretty good consistent mix of fluke coming over the rail, which was nice to see. A lot of people got out, a lot of kids and everybody, and they're also doing their porgy trips, so there's a lot of big porgies coming over the rail. I was out fishing this evening, and I was actually watching guys pull like dinner plate sized porgies over the stern of their boat when I was bass fishing. Speaking of which, there's a really good topwater striped bass and bluefish bite. Fish are pushing the slot size, and the bluefish are pushing 15 to 18 pounds. So there's some really nice fish for topwater action and fly fishing. This past week, I was fortunate enough to have been involved with the Manhattan Cup. My two anglers on board were Ira Krell and Rob Cesarini. Rob won the largest striped bass on the fly division, which was a really good accomplishment with a 32-inch fish. And Ira Krell received the High Hook Award. He caught the most striped bass in the whole tournament, which was a huge achievement. Speaking of which, being on fly was an even bigger achievement, and I was really excited for Ira for winning that award in the tournament. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. Ira's involved with Project Healing Waters, very low profile, inconspicuous guy, and it couldn't have been awarded to a nicer guy. Fred Golofaro also received a Lifetime Achievement Award. Fred is a very deserving individual who received this award. It was very touching to see him get that. He's been involved this area and the fishery for a long time, and he really deserved that award. One sad note in Montauk this past week was the passing of legendary fishing charter captain Billy Ervilak. A lot of people remember Billy from his own boat, the Karen Sue, as well as all the years he was the captain of the Viking. As one local captain told me, that is a huge wealth of fishing knowledge that will be forever lost, and he's a big loss to the fishing community here in Montauk. So everybody enjoy the weekend. It looks like the weather's going to cooperate, so get your kids, get your friends, everybody get out there and enjoy what great fishing we have here on Long Island. Thank you, Matt.
From Shinnecock, let's check in with Mike Dean with all the news from the East End.
Thanks, Matt. Hey, everyone. Pretty solid fishing going on. Fluke bite seems to be the best in the ocean, in the inlet, back in the bay, west of Ponquag in the skinny water. There's a lot of bait around right now. So decent amount of keepers. Hampton Lady has been getting on them. So definitely try to target them because there's some nice fish to be had there. Bluefish are still around. Got out this afternoon with a buddy kind of by Marich's Inlet back in the bay there. And surface stuff, nice sized blues for solid hour. After that, the bigger ones kind of thinned out. It was cocktails, but they were going after everything. So a lot of fun there. Striped bass not really cooperating like they should. I haven't really gotten into any with the Manhattan Cup last week. I didn't have as much time to be out there, but the reports haven't been great. We are seeing some bunker in the ocean, so should just be a matter of a couple of days. Hopefully, we have the new moon to. When you see this, will be last night, so things should be coming together there. Haven't heard too many tuna reports. I know a few guys out of Montauk had a few successful trips, so that should be coming together as well. As for the Manhattan Cup, unbelievable day. So grateful to the Fisherman, Yamaha, AFW Fishing Wire, Black Rifle Coffee, Ray Marine. Just an unreal day. 30 veterans got out fishing, and for many of them, that day changed their lives. Tsunami Tackle donated a fishing pole and reel to each of the veterans participating to continue their road to healing that hopefully this day started. And the video reporters had a real nice show in there. Myself, Matt, Mike MG, and Tim O'Rourke, never having fished around the city and Raritan Bay, trailered his 21 Parker from Montauk to Jersey City and got the award for the most striped bass caught and the biggest striped bass on a fly. Way to go, Tim. It was just unbelievable, jaw dropper. Fred Golofaro with the Lifetime Achievement Award for all the work he does. It was just great stuff all around. Hope a lot more people can make it next year. So this weekend, get out there, catch them up, have fun. Hit us up in the comments or on social media if you have any questions about what's going on with the fishing around here. And I'll talk to you next week. Back to you, Matt.
From Northport, we have Mark McGowan from Cow Harbor Bait and Tackle.
Fishing right now is out of control. The first week in June started off with a huge blast. We've got total surface action going on. We're talking about Cold Spring Harbor as far as Smithtown Bay. It's really, really dynamite. The surf bite, it's not as good as the boat bite, but it's happening. The trick is you really gotta go, you've gotta not be content with staying in your same spots. You have to look. And what this means is there's a lot of sight fishing. The coolest thing about sight fishing is that you can actually see the fish in the water, like depending on the clarity of the water. Up here right now, the way we're fishing, we could see down around 6 to 7 feet. And it's really a big difference when you see the fish come up and just hammer your lure on the surface. It's crazy. I mean, it's really addictive. And large bass that are usually going to the east are staying. They're finding their ways. Remember, the North Shore is all about structure. It's about fishing ledges. And these big fish, they're watching the ledges. And guess what? They're pushing up bait to the surface, and it's just, wow. Phil spent a beautiful day yesterday with Captain Dable. The fish are here, they're going nowhere. As far as the fluke goes, you're going to, when we get these big bass naturally and bluefish in the area, the fluke, they're not gonna stay in your natural spots. They're going to move deeper. These fluke are gonna stick around structure. They're gonna use the structure to hide, and they're gonna use the structure to feed off all of those baby porgies. Remember, June and late May is the time of the spawning for most of the fish. Whether it's a game fish, bait fish, trophy fish, they're all going to be letting their eggs out, letting their spawn move around, kind of be like a rolling stone of fishing, bump around to different beaches, and then you're gonna get into fish because there's an awful lot of fish around, and they're just following that tide, and they're following that different migration pattern. But right now, it's all on. It's gonna get better and better as we get to this new moon in June. And for those people, new moon in June, if you're a fisherman, whether you're on the beach or the boat, it's like you can't sleep at night. You're prepping all your gear. I know I am, and I'm really tuned into like what's going on right now. Fish gods are shining on us, and I hope they shine on you as well. Until next week, I bid you peace, tight lines.
From the Fire Island area in Great South Bay, let's check in with Captain Al Lorenzetti.
Hey Matt, Fire Island report. Fishing's a little tough. There's a few fluke around, not really much. I mean, it's a pick here and there, an occasional keeper, but pretty tough. Striped bass fishing around Fire Island right now is really not happening. Maybe a couple of fish around, but there seems to be the bite west of here and east out of Montauk. They're doing very well with them. Weakfish still a bite at Ocean Beach, but it's primarily weekdays, early morning. And but I will say the big bluefish around, I've been having fun with them. Fish Wednesday, had fish to 12, 14 pounds on live bait and plugs. And at least it's something to make the rod bend and have a good time with them. And that's about what's happening. So we'll see here. Hopefully warmer weather coming, the fishing action will pick up, and we'll see what happens next week, Matt. Take care. Talk to you then.
From Oceanside, we have Captain Joey Leggio.
Hey Matt, what's going on? So the report out of the Debs Inlet area in the bay, we're still getting the fluke. People are starting to come up with some nice keepers. Plenty of action, still a lot of shorts, but the action is there. Also from the shore, Lieutenant Squiddy, aka Kevin Sheehan, he was out on the surf and he connected with 4 beautiful keeper fluke. The biggest one going was 24 inches, he said. Also, he took note that inside every fluke's belly, they all had either was baby ling or baby whiting in the belly. So that's pretty cool. I don't know what that means, where those fish came from, that they all have the whiting in their belly. On to the ocean front, the striped bass are outside our inlet, but they're really not the numbers that should be there, but people are catching. Guys are out there trolling, they're definitely scoring, but again, it's not the numbers that we're used to seeing in the past years. Another thing that's happening right now is the shark fishing is pretty phenomenal. A lot of guys going out, the threshers are all over the place. Junior, I believe, had 2 already on the bunker spoons, and guys are actually going out targeting them, are actually doing well. I believe Lloyd Melson had one today, pushing 300. Mike and Jack and Courtney had one. Theirs was, I think, about 280. Nicky was on a no time. He had a small mako release, and then they had a keeper thresher as well. So there's definitely some nice shark life out there, and just in time for the shark tournaments coming up. I believe this weekend actually it started. On the reef scene, again, it's just crazy, man. There's so many sea bass. I just wish they'd open the season for us. Why they don't, I have no idea. But it's just retarded. I mean, you could limit out in 2 seconds if the season was open. There's just so many big, beautiful sea bass on these reefs. But we went out, though. I took out Raph and his crew, and we connected with 10 beautiful ling. They had 3 codfish, 2 being keepers, and again, 50-plus sea bass, all going back. But the action's there, the life is there. Oh, also on the reef, too, I spoke to Matt Roth. He said he was drifting around the reef, and he had a few short fluke and 1 keeper. He wasn't great, but he did say there was some fluke life on that reef as well. That's basically my report, and back to you, Matt.
Let's check in with Chris Ludwig. Chris?
Hey, thanks, Matt. What's going on, guys? So this last week I was a little bit busy, but I did get some fishing done. Earlier in the week I got some smaller bluefish on bucktails and paddletails, things of that nature, mainly loading up for this weekend shark tournament. Also, the striped bass seem to have been very heavy right outside my marina and in the back bays of Freeport, Jones Inlet area. These fish started to chew their heads off on the top of the outgoing tide on small bait fish, almost as if they were on cinder worms, the same kind of action, coming up, blowing up top, and going back down. They really responded well to the little mullet and the rainfish and things of that nature, basically the size range of 2 to 3 inches, I guess. So nothing too crazy, but a pretty productive week overall. Other than that, I hope you guys are doing well. See you all out there, and back to you, Matt.
Captain Mike Century has the latest from Staten Island.
Thanks, Tim, Fred, and Matt. Hope all is well. Well, folks, this week my boat's down for preventive maintenance. What I can tell you is the bass are still here in large numbers in the bay, especially on the Oceanside, 1.5 miles, especially outside of Sandy Hook. They're catching them in large quantities, bass in the high 40s to lower 50s. The temperature in the bay is low 60s to mid 60s. You could thank the cold days and weeks we had in May, kept the striped bass around. And also, everybody knows this week, June 4th, was the Manhattan Cup 20th anniversary striped bass tournament. I, along with dozens of other licensed captains, volunteer our time, boat, expenditures to take our veterans on a fishing trip. I had George, Ephraim, and Cisco on board, and I had a blast with these guys. These guys were funny, and they're definitely great sportsmen. We hit the ocean for larger bass in the morning, but the waves were getting a little bit big, so we packed it in for the bay. Back at the event around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we were greeted with some lightning and some heavy rain. Followed by that, the food, the drinks, the camaraderie. The event was absolutely nothing to miss. Can't wait for 2022 to hit the Manhattan Cup again. Had a chance to talk and catch up with fellow anglers from the Fisherman magazine crew. Had Matt Broderick, Fred Golofaro, Mike Dean, Jim Hutchinson, Tim O'Rourke, and myself. I got the chance to talk with them, meet up, and pretty much just catch up on our old fishing tactics and hopefully book some trips in the future. Anglers, feel free to follow me and other anglers on my fishing page and on Facebook, Anglers of Legend Sportfish. And back to you, Matt.
If you would like to be a part of our weekly video fishing forecast, we're looking for social media savvy anglers for hyperlocal reporting from around the New York Metro and Long Island area. So if you're a captain, tackle shop, or an avid angler, contact my producer at libayrad@gmail.com. Remember to like our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and tap on the bell to be notified instantly when we post a new video on YouTube. And of course, to be a subscriber to the Fisherman magazine, be part of the Dreamboat Contest and Coastal Kayak Clash. Check out this video's description on YouTube for all the related links and index for specific reports. And please support our correspondents by visiting their websites and social media pages. See you right here next week at the all-new Fisherman.com.
Steigercraft boats, built by people who fish our waters. Serious anglers choose Steigercraft for their 40 years of boat building experience right here in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. Visit steigercraft.com for a dealer near you.